Livable podcast.
We are the champions, my friends. And we keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. We are the champions of the world. Woo! Oh my God, dude. Chelsea are world champions. Can you believe that? Chelsea are world champions. We won the Club World Cup by upsetting PSG. I don't think anybody saw that coming, including pundits, including rival fans, including, some of our fans, right? I personally didn't see it coming, to be very honest with you. And we didn't just beat PSG, we beat them 3-0. So we beat them convincingly, right? Cole Palmer, the player of the match and the player of the tournament, with 2 goals and 1 assist. And Joao Pedro, who was vacationing on the beaches of Brazil a couple of weeks back, he got the other goal. So 3-0, right? So very interesting is a tactical masterclass from Maresca. And what I'd like to talk about, Adim, is like leading up to the game, right? Nobody gave us a chance, like I said. And
You
in
didn't give
fact,
yourself a chance. Forget about nobody.
exactly. Nobody. I mean, even I didn't give myself like I thought it's not going to be as bad as Real Madrid. 4-0 defeat. PSG defeated them 4-0 in the semi-final. I knew Chelsea were going to be more pragmatic, but I still expected PSG to win maybe 2-1, 2-0, something like that. To the extent where, one of the journalists asked Maresca before the game that, hey, are your players ready to suffer, right? Because you won't have the ball for most of the game. And Maresca said, who said that? That's become like an iconic line, right? Who said that after the win? So one of the things that happened at the beginning of the game, Adim, is Chelsea started really, really well. And in the first 10 minutes, Chelsea hadn't scored, but I saw the way they were playing, and I texted my friends that, hey, this is an amazing start by Chelsea. No matter what happens, this is great because Chelsea was super aggressive in their press, basically giving PSG a taste of their own medicine. Now, here is where like the tactical masterclass aspect comes into play. PSG obviously like to play out from the back, very technical, quick players, ball with their feet. And Chelsea negated that from the get-go by doing like an ultra-high press and man-to-man marking, right? What happened as a result of that is Donnarumma had to start playing it long, right? And PSG are not a team that can play it long. They don't even have a centre forward. They have a false nine, Dembele, right? So Chelsea were picking off all these long balls very easily against, Dembele, who's not really good in the air. Nobody else is really good in the air for PSG. So while Chelsea were doing that on, the pressing side of things, when it came to us building out from the back, we did something very interesting because, of course, PSG likes to press high, and we've seen those photos of like Dembele, trying to pounce on the goalkeeper. And we talked about this, Adeem, before the match that Sanchez is not the best playing short, playing out from the back. So what did Chelsea do? Chelsea basically used, Sanchez like a quarterback, right? Pinging, long balls down the right wing. Uh, the other thing that Chelsea obviously kind of capitalized on, and you can see it in all the 3 goals, is we attacked PSG's left hand side of the defense, right? Which was Nuno Mendes. And nobody really thought Nuno Mendes could be somebody who could be exploited because he's been brilliant this season. But he didn't really have the support. Kvaratskhelia didn't support him very well, and Vitinha was the only like number 6. For all the amazing aspects of Vitinha, he's not very physical, right? And so we had Malo Gusto pushing up against him, and even Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro were all kind of concentrated on that left hand side of PSG, so Chelsea's right hand side, and all the 3 goals came from there, which is kind of extremely interesting. The things that obviously impressed me the most was Maresca's setup of the game. So you could clearly see this is somebody who's like a tactical masterclass when he can be. The other thing is he was flexible, right? Malo Gusto, if you remember, one of my biggest gripes this season has been Malo Gusto inverting into the midfield, and he's not good at that. This time he played like a wing back, basically, running up and down the right wing, which he's good at, and he basically set up one of the goals and gave PSG trouble throughout the match. right? The other thing, I don't know if you noticed this, Adib, Pedro Neto basically plays as a left wing back, right? Tracking all the way back and, bombing up and down, right? So that goes to show that Maresca has some tactical flexibility. And at the end of the day, he does go pragmatic sometimes, right? If you think about it, it was basically, long balls, not just like balls skied in the air. There were long, like balls on the ground as well, bypassing high press and, us outnumbering the number of defenders PSG had and winning 3-0 very, very comfortably at the end. What do you think? I'm assuming you saw the highlights. Obviously, you didn't see the match because it was the middle of the night in India.
Yeah, I saw the highlights and I was kind of shocked. So it was unexpected. Like as you said, everybody expected PSG to run riot and score 4 or 5, but that didn't happen. I was really impressed by Maresca's setup because last season I remember we spoke quite a lot about what direction does he want to take Chelsea into, because this is something that we'll talk about in other podcasts. Is that the kind of managers Chelsea have had since at least we started watching football? They all have been really highly rated, or the big names. Apart from I think Jose Mourinho, who was an up and coming manager when he was signed. You've got the likes of Luis
But
Felipe Scolari, Antonio
yeah,
Conte.
yeah.
You've got Gus Hiddink. Uh,
Even Jose came after winning the Champions
Champions
League.
League,
So
correct.
yeah, yeah,
So that's the thing. And then you had somebody like a Maresca who I think only had won the League One, sorry,
championship.
championship,
Yeah,
sorry, championship,
yeah,
yeah. And the initial 2 3 months it looked good. You guys were close to the top of the table, and then the wheels started to fall off. And he had that that statement that or the players said that if they pass forwards, they'll be substituted or something like that, and they have to play at the back.
yeah.
It's crazy. But then you see that there is a genius in Maresca somewhere. And if he can tap into that for every game, I think you guys will have a very good setup. So the Chelsea team, if you look at it right now, I don't think you would say that all the players are world class talents, right? Or like the best in the world or something like that. Like Chelsea used to have Cole Palmer maybe, and then who else falls into that category?
I mean, we have Caicedo. He
Caicedo, yeah, sorry.
single-handedly
Yeah,
basically negated the
you've
entire
got
PSG
2 or 3
midfield.
guys, but you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like 7 8 like a Liverpool does. So it's very interesting as to what Maresca can do, and he's beaten PSG quite comprehensively, uh, which is the best team in the world right now. Let's be honest. So I was kind of surprised, and I must give credit to Cole Palmer. Both the goals that he scored, the calmness, the coolness, the presence of mind that he has, and those finishes, right? They weren't thunderbolts,
yeah,
placed perfectly into the left corner, his left corner, Donnarumma's right. It was just so silky and so smooth. Especially the second goal, I think he had that
yeah.
hesitation when he dropped the
Yeah, the
defender.
jinx, the
The jinx,
false,
that was
yeah, the
amazing. That was
false
amazing.
pretends to pass in and
And
come in. He's amazing. Yeah,
and so I just want to talk that you guys won 100 million in
yeah,
this tournament.
yeah, yeah,
And that's going to be great for you guys because you get so much money. You can obviously
yeah,
think about buying other players. And it wasn't a bad thing. There was a trip in the US. You
yeah.
expanded your fan base a little bit. Your fans got to see them and all. And I
Absolutely.
think the other talking point apart from the win was President Donald Trump coming up to
Yes.
lift the trophy, and he's not lifting. And I was seeing the celebration, and you can see the
Yeah,
look of shock and dismay
yeah,
on
yeah.
Reece James's face and Cole
Mm.
Palmer's face, and they're like, "What is he doing here? Why is he still here? Can he go?" And he's standing there
Yeah.
and he's waiting to lift it off. This
Well,
is
if you expect Donald Trump to move away from the limelight, you are
uh,
mistaken, my friend. He wants to be,
yeah.
if possible, he probably wanted to lift the trophy himself,
I don't know.
right?
I read somewhere that he has the original trophy and Chelsea have the replica. I'm not sure if that's true.
Yeah, and I also heard he kept like the medal that was supposed to go to Madueke because has left to Arsenal just before. I don't know, a whole bunch of rumors, right? And talking about like things outside of the game, of course, the game ended in a bit of a sour
Oh,
note. Of
yeah.
course, the PSG players lost a lot of their heads, and cumulatively, right? John Neves got a red card for pulling Cucurella's head. There were whole bunch of kicking, pulling going on. And after the game, Luis Enrique, who's normally like this Zen guy, he came and started fighting and pushed
Yeah.
Joao Pedro by the neck. I don't think anything's going to happen because everything's died down, but that was interesting end to the game, right?
That was
And
insane. Like you don't expect Luis Enrique to do that. I don't know what
yeah,
Joao Pedro
I
said.
no, I think, the entire PSG team was a little shell-shocked, right? They didn't expect to lose 3-0 to Chelsea of all teams, right? And they've been like riding high. They thought, oh, we're going to win everything in front of us. And they really got humbled in this game. And I think that has to go towards, the frustrations and the indiscipline that we saw at the end of the game, which is kind of interesting. And Chelsea now have a whole bunch of characters who can get under your skin. Like Cucurella's hair is like an amazing weapon in getting other teams, red cards. Because Cucurella is always, barging into people, small kicks here and there, pissing people off. And in the heat of the moment, it's so easy to grab his hair and get a red card, right? And of course, Joao Pedro also is a bit of a shithouse. Delap now, his dad was there as well, Roy Delap. I saw him. That's a nice photo. Liam Delap is a bit of a shithouse. So we have a whole bunch of people who are, back to the old kind of Diego Costa Chelsea kind of days, which is interesting. So of course, like you said, Adim, we won a lot of money. A lot of it is going to go towards paying a fine to UEFA because we came to a settlement with UEFA because we haven't been able to balance our books per UEFA, and so a part of it is going to go there. So we don't really have that much money. But on the other side, right, of course, we've sold Madueke for almost 50 million pounds to Arsenal. And it looks like Nicholas Jackson might be on his way out, and I'm assuming they'll get the same amount of money basically. Uh, so essentially, what is probably going to happen is if we end up selling Nicholas Jackson, we might dip into the market, especially if Nkunku leaves, and then we have like Joao Felix who's supposed to leave. God knows what's going to happen to him. Sterling, and a whole bunch of other young kids who need to leave as well. I'm not quite sure what is going to happen. But the one thing that I want to talk to you about, Adim, in terms of transfers is we need a left back. Just like you need like a center back, we need a left back because Cucurella is our only left back and he's played an insane number of minutes this season, right? It's not sustainable next season. So there are rumors of us trying to go for this kid called Jorel Hato. Yeah, this Dutch kid, I think he plays for Ajax. He's got really good, promising future, but he's very young. But he's being quoted at 60 million, right? That's a lot of money. So I don't know whether that's going to be feasible. We do have, Renato Vega, but he probably going to get sold. I don't know what's going on there. That's just a constant kind of churn and revolving door of young players. Apart from that, you guys have started your preseason, you're training, you're winning. We just started our vacation, right? All these Chelsea players just went on the vacation. So they're going to be off for the next 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks now. And the entire team is going to be back only 2 weeks before the Premier League, right? How do you think that's going to affect the Premier League? I don't think we'll have a good start at all. Hopefully we don't get like immediate bad injuries because people when they come back late from preseason don't get enough of training under their belt, are susceptible to getting injured. So what do you think is going to happen to our season next year?
It's insane timing because 2 weeks before the start of the Premier League, that's barely any time to prepare your team. So preseason is never about the results. It's always about getting the players into condition, or if you have a new manager, obviously learning his style of play. With Maresca, at least that problem is not there. You know what he's going to set up with. But obviously, if you have just 2 weeks before a Premier League season starts, you need 2 more weeks to ensure that the players are up to the right fitness and availability. I think it's insane as to why the Club World Cup went on for so long. The timing of it, the number of games, and all. Sure, you guys won, but I think it's a very scary situation. And yeah, you're right. I hope that none of the Chelsea players pick up any major injuries because 2 weeks off as a holiday and then you're back and you're training again. It's not sustainable unless, of course, Maresca decides to play the under 18s for the first 2 weeks and then we'll see what happens.
Hey, we don't need under 18. We have so many French players. We have
Yeah,
Sterling, Joao Felix. We can get all of these guys come in and play. We have Disasi. I don't know how many French players we have out there. We could play like a fringe 11 for the first month.
I think that's what they do. So they can use that first couple of games to use it as a sale window.
Shopping window. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's find solutions to your problems, right? So Joao Felix is playing and Nkunku is playing. You've got a lot of people to do that. Yeah, so
that'd be like a pre-Diwali, pre-Eid sale.
It'll be like a shopping network, a Chelsea shopping network, CSN.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Crazy.
Okay, I think that's probably the last thing we wanted to talk about. And as usual, let us know in your comments what you think. How happy are the Chelsea fans on winning the Club World Cup, champions of the world?
The first winners of the Club World Cup, by the way. The first this format one.
Exactly, the first winners. And I forgot to kind of give Sanchez his flowers, right? He was great. Let us know what you thought of Sanchez's performance. He made some important saves, and his distribution, long distribution, was amazing, right?
Hmm.
Also, let us know who we should get as a left back, as a backup to Cucurella, right? That's an important position for us to fill. And with that, of course, like, comment, subscribe. And as usual, we'll be back next week. It's going to be a Liverpool centric episode because Chelsea folks are going to be on vacation. And so we'll see you again next week. And with that, goodbye.
Bye bye.